And then, of course, he made his whole joke about the fact that, you know, if she can kill the baby, then I shouldn't have to pay child support. And I said, you know what? I give him that.
Right.
I give you that, because if as a woman you decide to keep a baby that a man said I want no parts of, why should he be responsible for taking care of that kid? You made a decision on your own that I want to keep this child. Right. So I was like, you know what?
Right. Yeah.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you for saying that, because you know what? Equality, feminism, another conversation.
That's true. Yes, exactly.
But you gotta keep it equal.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel you on that one.
I felt him on that one, and then I did laugh very heartily when he started talking about the LGBT.
Oh yes,
community.
I knew you was gonna go there. That car analogy.
First off, when he opened up the joke with, "I don't want to offend any gay men who are here with their wives."
That was perfect. And then he said, "Be in Atlanta."
He's like, "Be in Atlanta."
I cried.
As a person, so I've been to Atlanta like once in my life, but I have a relative, a cousin of mine who lives in Atlanta, and I will never forget. This woman told me, she was like, for one straight man in Atlanta, there's 10 women. She's like, listen, 1 out of 5 is straight.
Right.
You know, she's like, 1 out of 5 in Atlanta is straight.
Right.
So all these guys out here, you see a ton of them, they married, half of them on the down low.
Half of them on the down low.
So when he made that joke, I was rolling.
Yes,
it just brought
exactly.
me right back to that ideology that, there's a lot
of DL brothers in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
But he broke it down though, because
I love the car scenario.
The car scenario. And then he's like, you know, the G's are driving. He said, you know, there's a lot of white men who are G's, and the white men are the ones who sit on the top of the social ladder in the gay community, or the LGBT. First off, we'll just say the alphabet people is what he called them. Yes. And what I liked about that as a black man, as a brother, is that he was specifically targeting the white people of those communities. Because he was like, you know, the white men are driving, and next to them are the white women.
Yes, the L's.
The L's, right. And then he was like, you know, the G's don't normally throw shade at the L's. He said, it's subliminal. They'll just go, I wouldn't wear that. And I fell out because he is clearly a white gay man. And they all like that.
Yes.
The white gays don't like lesbians for some reason.
The L's and the G's don't like the B's because they know they're too selfish.
They think they're greedy.
Which is so
That's true. Yes. Bisexual people have it the hardest. Yeah. Besides trans people, they have it really hard because, yes, gays and lesbians don't trust bisexual people.
And I know a girl who said to me, I know a woman who said to me that how she's bisexual. Technically, she's pan. And me and her have had this conversation because she's dated transgender women and men. She doesn't care.
Right.
But she says that she's bi. And she says that how it's hard for her when she goes on like dating apps or dating websites and try to get women, because when women see that she's bi, they're like, you're not a real lesbian.
Exactly.
Because all you're going to do is you're going to be with me for fun.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, you're going to go back to a man.
And
so she was like, it's
that.
hard for her to date women, for women to take her seriously.
Right. And it's not like that for all bisexual people. Yeah. There are bisexual people that aren't just like fucking everybody. Yeah. It's like if they're with a man, they're with a man. If they're with a woman, they're with a woman. It's not like that. Yeah. That is a misconception.
It is.
And then what did he say? Way in the back.
Looking
you
outside
got the peas. Looking outside the window, just looking at the flowers. And when they say, I'm hot, I have to use the bathroom.
Like, damn it, T, shut up.
Just shut up back there. You have to wait like 4 more states before you can even use the restroom. And girl, I fell out. Like, if that's not on point, yes.
That was very, I thought, I know people might not like, I thought this was so on the nose.
Yes.
I thought this was so on point. And I thought this was actually a respectful dissertation and dissection of the community. He did not disrespect anyone in that group. He did not target anyone specifically in that group. He did not make like any kind of derogatory joke. Right. Because even at some point he said that, and then there's the cues, you know, the white guy outside in the booty shorts.
Exactly. And the G's are like, he looks like one of us.
Yes. And then he hovers over the windows and says, you know, to the sir, ma'am, and whatever pronoun that you would like to be identified by.
Wasn't that brilliant?
That was brilliant.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
And I was like, look at you.
Yes.
And he be knowing, you know.
And he was educated on each.
The
Q was on point.
Q's sit in between the B's and the T's.
Yes. And they said, I don't know if I'm gay or straight or whatever, but I really want to get in this car.
Yes. I'm a fuck. Oh yeah, it don't matter.
Exactly.
I was like, I think he did a really good job in that. And I feel like if anyone of the alphabet people who did not see his cunning and his wit and again his understanding and his knowledge of the community in that moment, or his respectfulness in the community in that moment, I don't know what you are looking for.
Right. Agreed. And he's prefaced that whole segment by saying, like, I have friends of each.
Not too much of the T's, because
not too much. Yeah, he said that. He said the T's hate me. But he's like, I have friends of each. And he's talked to these people about these jokes. So, you know, he was able to get an idea, if you will, about what it's like to be part of that world. Because he said a lot of his friends have told him, you know, what they had to go through just to be themselves and to live their lives and love who they want to love. And then he launched in his joke. So it's like, that's his way of saying, people, I get the seriousness of this, but I'm going to poke fun at it because there are a lot of white folks as part of that community that really, 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 really want us to talk about this, but they don't want us to say things they don't want to hear.
Yes.
And that was part, like, even when he did say the thing about, Caitlyn Jenner and like parting her lips and like seeing a little dick inside, like that was specifically to Caitlyn Jenner, not to all transgender people, you know?
And then he made the joke about how like he still doesn't get it. He still doesn't get it to some degree because what if he was a black man saying that he felt like an Asian dude,
which is not quite the same. It's not quite the same, right?
But it also brought me back to the idea of Rachel Dolezal when he said that, because that was what Rachel Dolezal was saying. She said she was like transracial because she felt like a black woman. And then from what I understand, I didn't even read the article, but apparently an Asian community came out and was like, he was offended by the joke because, you know, he made the face with the eyes and he was like, what if I was a black man who just felt Asian, but I was in this black ass body and I had, you know, the face and the eyes and he spoke with the broken.
Right.
And he even went on to say, my wife hates that joke.
Yes, hates
She's
that joke,
Asian,
right.
And she tells me stop telling that joke.
Right.
And I tell her, fuck you, because I'm going to tell a joke if I want to tell a joke. So,
and then the Asian woman in the audience who got mad at him that may have been on one of his other specials, but he was saying how there was an Asian woman in the audience who got mad at him for that and was like, fuck you, Dave, I'm not buying another one of your DVDs again. And that may have been another one, so my bad.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he does that. He's
joke.
Aware. Yeah.
And he's aware of it, and he's like, my Asian wife hates it, but guess what? I still make the joke. It's a part of the joke. Part of the set of the jokes that I made.
Exactly.
And again, I don't think he's taking it that. I don't think he's trying to you know, poke fun at Asian people. I think he's using the caricature that everyone uses of Asian people to put forth the idea of an Asian person. Because if you say black man trapped or a white Asian person trapped in a black man's body, and you start talking, people aren't gonna understand, well, what's the Asianness about it?
Yes, so exactly.
Has to make the face that everyone uses as a stereotype to differentiate that he's
significantly Asian, right? Exactly.
Presenting Asian internally.
Right. But we're able to get that because we understand, or at least we feel like we understand the way the comedian mind works.
Yes.
But going in line with what he was talking about call out culture and cancel culture, you know, whatever, like, you can't even do that now. You can't even get that kind of joke.
Yeah, you can't do a joke like that anymore because it's super offensive. And like I said, I understand the offensiveness of it. But
right.
I think people have to also have to think about, one, this is not done to be taken seriously, and two, in situations like that, you have to impersonate, and you can't. How are you going to impersonate an Asian person without trying to impersonate an Asian person?
Right.
You know, that's like saying I'm going to pretend to be a Nigerian, but then still speak without a Nigerian accent.
Thank you. You know, and sometimes I just feel like people, whether they're marginalized or non-black people of color, just always trying to find a way to like I wouldn't say put black people in their place, but because of the fact that, you know, we've dealt with a lot of shit over the centuries. We have a right to complain about a lot. And there are a lot of other people that romanticize oppression in a way because they want to be able to complain about whatever the way we are allowed to because of history.
Yeah.
And I feel like that plays itself when you have the Asian person, the one or two Asian people that are mad about a joke, or the white gays who are like, oh, Dave Chappelle so this and Dave Chappelle so that, and he said this, horrible thing about, LGBT people and he's black and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, first off, come off it, because
come off that high horse.
Come off that high horse, because while the critics didn't like it, it got a 99% like on Rotten Tomatoes or one of those from the public. So the public loved it, the public gravitated towards it and got it in a way that these social critics and writers for
and
the Advocate.
Let's not forget what demographic are a lot of these critiques.
And we said that first episode. We also brought out that mostly people that were complaining were not black, were not people of color. They were mostly white people of these communities who,
a lot of white men.
Yes, whose feelings were hurt over these jokes, and clearly they didn't want to get what the whole thing was about.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever,
I was feeling him with the so there was that joke, and then he went on to the Juicy Smollett. I laughed heartily, because first he was talking, that French actor?
That French actor.
Juicy?
Juicy Smollett? Juicy.
I was like, this fool, he said Juicy Smollett.
And that was so perfect, because it's his way of talking about it without calling our homeboy's name.
Without calling his name out. Yeah. And I was like, this is so cute. He's like, Juicy, Juicy. Juicy. And he was like, and then what I loved in that joke was how he talked about how black folks were getting at other black folks to not support him.
Right.
And he was like, we were silent.
Yes.
And that was our way of supporting him, because we all knew good and
was
damn
lying.
Well this shit did not add up. We did an episode. Check back on the Adultish podcast.
That's right.
We did an episode about this shit, saying this nigga don't make sense.
Right. And at first,
who
I think
goes out at 2 a.m.
At 2 a.m. to Subway. Exactly.
Eats.
And
like,
cold ass Chicago of all places.
16 degrees.
Yeah, right. And at first, like, I remember when I first heard about it, I reacted emotionally, just seeing that happened to him. I remember seeing something online or commenting on it online or whatever, and it was like when it first broke. And then like maybe 2 days later, when they continued to talk about it and they showed his face after this supposed bleach was poured on it, I'm like, if bleach was poured on your face, I know you're light skinned, but like if bleach was put on your face,
some stains,
there's gonna be some stains,
some burns, some scars.
Yes. And
something.
Like, and I love that Dave Chappelle.
Especially if he got cut up, open wounds.
Yes.
Like
it's gonna like show marks.
It's gonna do something to your face.
Yes. And there were moments of what I saw where there were moments of solidarity in which Dave Chappelle was kind of like winking at black people watching. And that was one of those moments where he's like, we were silent. We didn't say anything.
We didn't. That's how we showed support.
Yes, we didn't say a damn thing.
We didn't say a damn thing.
Glad got involved. They were ready to do something. They were ready to like jump to his defense. People were ready to jump to his defense. Celebrities on Instagram, everybody.
Yes.
And it's like, wait, something about this don't seem right.
And then everybody questioned him. Now Chicago's still like asking him to pay money for fees and fines.
Right.
Time and all that madness.
Screw all that noise.
I liked that. And then at the end, of course, where he kind of like tied everything together, but he started talking about like the shootings and the guns.
They're gonna be white.
And
that was a good analogy when he went to Kmart.
Yes.
And the guy walking through
with
his
the
yard.
buckshots.
Yes.
And then he was like, and then my gun starts sounding Jamaican because it's buckshot.
Right.
I was like, this nigga, how dare you?
I know.
Buckshot. But that was funny. And he was talking about like how the kids were being taught drills in school.
Yeah.
And then brought it back to like, well, not like if the school shootings are coming from students, aren't you teaching the person the drills? And he's like, there's that white boy in the corner like, so how do we
that's what we're gonna meet.
How do we go taking notes?
Exactly.
Like, you know what? He ain't lie though.
He didn't.
He ain't lie.
That was real talk. And I thought about that. I was like, hold up, he's fucking right.
He's super true. And he was like, let's face it, if we all go to PTA meetings, 9 out of 10, if it's a white person, it's, if it's a black kid, it's probably not going to shoot up the school.
Right.
So
Nah. He may shoot into a crowd of people, and because it's two people that's part of that 5 that he don't like and he got beef with. That's very much a crime you'd hear about in the hood. But brothers ain't going up in movie theaters and supermarkets and Walmarts and targeting random people for whatever reason.
As he said, you ain't think about cutting school. You don't like people. Just don't go to school.
Just don't go to school. Yes.
Just ditch class.